You know your thing hit on one off again.
Go press it on, bro. You got to press video, hit record.
I don't see your camera, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man. Right there. Camera, bro. They don't.
Watch out, man. You gonna do it or no?
Ah, hey, bro.
Had to get on that shoulder, man.
Y'all ain't have reading, writing, and arithmetic?
We went straight to college, brother.
Y'all ain't have reading, writing, and arithmetic?
We went straight to college. There you go.
Look at this, man. Look at this, man.
Uh-oh. What are you? Man, look at
Gary
you.
Riggs, bro.
What did you do to her?
That's you, man. This faulty equipment, man. Microphones, everything. Ooh, ooh.
Hey, you done broke this here, man. One of y'all done broke it right there.
Bro, that
One
thing.
of y'all broke it right there. That near there.
Hey, man. Why the microphone ain't on?
You know what I tell you about touching the button. What I tell you about touching the button. Don't touch no button.
Hey!
Look.
Why it sounded squeaky, man? Why it sounded
squeaky?
squeaky, bro?
I ain't no squeaky, man.
Quiet on the set.
Oh.
Quiet on the set,
Quiet
man.
on the set. You don't know about what you talking about.
Quiet on the set, bro.
Now, turn it down too. What's wrong?
Quiet on the set, man. Quiet on the set. Hey, man, if y'all know somebody need a mortgage, man, y'all need to call me. The mortgage company popping off, man. I ain't,
So, yeah.
you know somebody need a mortgage.
Oh, okay.
Refinance. Rates are low. Time to go.
What's the rate?
Time to go to the show. The Daily Bread Show sponsored by JL Capital. A lender you can trust. Feel my own got there. Hey, boy. Hey. 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 Hey, man, hold it down, bro. What you doing? You doing too much, man. You doing too much, man. You gotta earn that, man. You can't just pop off with
man,
that.
Talk, man, talk. People listening for you. Say something to the people. Look at them looking at you. Oh,
Man, they had a name for jokers like you when I was growing up. I ain't
player,
gonna say it.
player.
No, not player.
player.
Geechee. Oh, Geechee joker, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, hey, man, I thought I got away from that, man.
You back in South Carolina.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Not a joke here, man. Got there. Geechee.
I'm gonna share the dude, bro.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, man, good evening, man. You're doing too much talking, bro. Good evening. Good evening.
Say all the Callahan.
Good evening. What?
Callahan.
Oh, that's D. Khaled, baby.
Yeah, what? That's Pastor Callahan?
D. Khaled. Nah, man, that's the real master. Hey, man, good evening. This is the host, Joaquin Thompson, Senior, host of the Daily Bread Show, coming to you live from, man, and I've been all over the city today. Little Burn.
There you go.
Little Burn.
No,
Little Burn, right outside of Atlanta, right down the street from Stone Mountain, but
yes, sir.
not in Atlanta, but near Atlanta. We right out there, and this is episode 112. I got a ring to it. Episode 112.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 112. We got a special, man. We got a special show, man. You are it, man. I don't think, man, people understand the magnitude of, man. Just when you get the opportunity to speak to somebody who's seen some things, done some things, been some places, we got that type of guy on tonight, man. We got this is my roommate. I'm gonna set it up, but hold tight. Because we got people that's gonna be joining for the first time. So if this is your first time joining the Daily Bread Show, my name is Joaquin Thompson Sr. I'm the host of the Daily Bread Show. And the Daily Bread Show is about personal finance. Some people call it financial literacy. Either way, this is what we do. We come on here to do what? Educate, motivate, and elevate so people understand that everything that you do, everything from the time that you woke up this morning to the time you go to bed at night is tied to personal finance. From the time that you was born to the time that you pass away, it's tied to personal finance. Where you go, what you drive, what you wear, what you eat, where your kids go to college, where your kids go to school, where you grew up, the neighborhood you from, where you from, somebody say where you from, all of that is tied to personal finance. So what my job is to, again, educate, motivate, elevate. We talk about personal finance. I talk about personal finance topics from a spiritual perspective. We do not, I repeat, we do not do religion on the Daily Bread Radio Show. And the reason we don't do religion on the Daily Bread Radio Show is for one reason. Because when you start doing religion, oh man, now I get twisted. Now people ain't been ordained, they a minister. Now people talking about, you know, they anointed and bruh, no. Spirituality. Because if you just deal in the spiritual realm, then everybody can agree to this thing. If you see me do this, that means it's only one entity in the universe from everlasting to everlasting. And if you don't know who that is, that's God. So that's all we do on the Daily Bread Radio Show, from everlasting to everlasting. So, and that's what we do. Every week, man, we got some exciting shows. 112 episodes. I just seen
Come on.
man. Every time I see one of them numbers, man, I get choked up, man, because I'm thinking like, man, that's deep, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That means you on purpose. Like with me, I'm like, man, I guess when I got around like 55, it's kind of like driving a car going 55. Well, when I got to 60, and when I got to 70, man, now I'm like on a rocket ship, boy. I'm like, I'm gone, bro. I'm gone, man. We doing, and tonight's episode is sponsored by our mortgage company, JL Capital. So if you know somebody that needs to purchase a home, looking to do a refinance, mortgage rates are low. My partner in crime, I guess they would say fellow host on another show, John Hope Bryant, when I was getting ready in the green room, he was just talking about blacks and home ownership. He was just talking about that. He said since we had the financial crash in 2008, every other race has come up with home ownership except us. We still, for whatever reason, we still sticking our toe in, I don't know. Maybe I should, I don't know. Listen, man, we got the mortgage company set up. Now you can do business with a lender that you can trust. I ain't gonna steal from you. I ain't gonna take nothing from you. I'm gonna put you in something good, your family in something good, your kids and your kids' kids. And these are the things that I was thinking about earlier. We got somebody for everything. We got a mechanic, like our car breakdown. I got my mechanic guy, right? Okay, that's cool. You got somebody to come by this, handyman, something breaking the house. Oh, call Joe. Joe good with that. Joe, yeah, he can hang ceiling fans. He can do. We got all these people, but we don't have a personal lender. A person. Listen what I'm saying to you. I got to stop right here. Time out. I got to stop right here. Give y'all a quick little story. I met a guy earlier this week that's a banker, right? And me and him was talking. I was talking to him about this piece of property. And we just exchanged cards. He gave me his card. I shot him my digital card. And then we started talking. He was like, yeah, man, we need to, we could do some business together, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. But I had his card. He reached out to me, asked me a couple questions about an application that I had. And then I responded to him. But guess what? When I hung up the phone, look, I was about to do this like I was really hanging up the phone. Old school. Clean. When I hung up the phone, the first thing I thought about was this. Now he's in my network. He's in my ecosystem. Right? I'm talking to the dude at the bank. I ain't calling through customer service. I ain't calling through the main line. This dude said, man, call me directly and we'll talk about it. And that's what I'm saying to everybody. If you know somebody that's even if they're not ready to buy a house, because I get a lot of people to say, I ain't ready yet. I'm getting ready. Even if you're not ready, look, get ready. If you reach out to me, I had a couple people reach out to me. Money right, credit ain't right. Right? And I started asking them about their credit. They feel it, because when somebody feels a certain type of way about something, because they tone go down, right? I don't care what you're talking about. You could be talking about sports. You could be talking about something that you know about. But anytime you talk to a person, they tone just drop, then they go, that should be your red. That's a red flag. Ooh. Right. So I was talking to this gentleman. I talked to ladies, and this been in the system last week. This has been 1 week since I launched this company. Talked to people that got access to money, credit challenge, right? And I said, well, hey, tell me more about your credit. Well. And I was like, you ain't got to feel, bro, you don't have to feel ashamed about having compromised credit. What you got to do is, and I'm going to give y'all the number to the show, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give me a call. Let me know what's on your mind. We got a great guest tonight, so keep the number handy. So that way, if you want to talk to them, because I got a I'm going to just put it this way. I have a super producer. Very few people like this gentleman in the world. But back to what I was saying in my story about credit. No, bro. No, put your hands down. I'm talking about super, like when they put, I know, man, I feel the same way. I feel like I'm a super, but no, I'm bringing on the real super producer. So you all are in, you in for you definitely in for a treat. But back to this credit thing. I'm talking to this young lady about purchasing a house. And she's concerned about where her credit is right now. It don't matter where your credit is right now. Wherever your credit is right now, you can improve it if you start working on it. So what, you can't buy the house? Like this one young lady I talked to, I said, well, when you want to buy the house? Right away. I said, okay. You want to? Yeah, we was at Kroger or Publix or something. I was like, okay, I got it. You want to buy it right away, but we got to go through some steps first. So when I started talking about it, Tone got I got some things. I'm like, don't worry about, that's why we had the Daily Bread Show. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. If you got a black guy on your credit report, don't worry about it. We talk about this all the time on the show. The first step is to do what? Face it. Just come face to face with it. Don't guess. Don't think, I think I might have I said, well, did you see it? Nah, I ain't never. Pull your credit report. Go to annual. It's by law, you can pull your own credit one time a year, every year, for free, by law. But if that's the law and we're not using it, then it does you no good. So by law, what you should do is pull your credit. That's step number one. Pull your credit and just,
come on.
right, just, man, what does that mean? And then if you don't know, right, just research it. Go to YouTube, go to other places. Just like you do when a pipe bursts in your house. It's like, I wonder how to fix. Go to YouTube. Do the same thing. Because once you get into a financially stronger position, and it might be this time next year, but guess what? This time next year is better than it never coming. This time next year is better than never coming. It's just like somebody say, hey, I'm going to give you $1 million, but it's going to be this time next year. Guess what? You're going to be like, oh, bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry. Everything ain't got to be right away. Take your time and build. Take your time and build. Like the Great Wall of China, build. Like the slaves used to be. Like when the slaves used to want to run, when they used to plan how to run away, right? Did they just wake up?
No.
And burn out? Like this, boom, just hit out across that field.
We gonna run. Nah,
they was singing them songs and they was thinking about it. Man, you know I couldn't have did it, boy, because they'd be like, that's all I got, and I'm laughing. But anyway, you got to have a plan. And that's why one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you haven't seen this, it's a good metaphor about life. Shawshank Redemption. Mm-hmm. Shawshank Redemption. Andy Dufresne. That's the main character, right? Got accused of a crime, was innocent, went to prison, had a chip on his shoulder first, couldn't think. I ain't do it, I'm innocent. So he spent the first 5 or 6 years on that. Then after a while, Morgan Freeman was like, man, everybody in here innocent. And then it clicked. He was like, oh, okay. So he came up with a plan. And it took him some years, but he was facing life without the possibility of parole. And guess what he was saying? He said, I'm gonna break out of here. And they said, you crazy. Ain't nobody never broke out of here. He was like, I'm leaving. And if you wanna come down by the big oak tree. You'll see a boat. Turn left, go down a mile, I'll be there. That's what he told Morgan Freeman in the movie. And we gotta be the same way. It ain't gonna happen in July 2019. But you could be thinking about July 20, July 21, because guess what? 10 years ago, had we been planning like that, where we are today is what we was thinking about 5 years ago. where you are right now, house, no house, car, no car, money, no money, whatever it is, right now is a manifestation of how you was thinking 5 years ago. I promise you. And some people it's 2 years ago. Cause I see some names on I'm not gonna say the names to protect the innocent, but I can tell you on everything that I know, 2 or 3 years ago, some of these people right on the show tonight, they was like, you know what? I'm about to change. I'm about to lose me 20 pounds. Boom. Year and a half later, boom. Uh-oh, that's what I'm talking about. Timely. This is Joaquin Thompson with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? Is this the super producer? Is this the super producer?
What's up?
What's going? Hey man, look man, I know you super cool, you laid back man. You're gonna have to take it up a notch tonight, bro. Cause I've been talking about you. I've been talking about you for 2 weeks, man. You know what I'm saying? I said I've been talking about you for 2 weeks, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling the story, and people ain't believe the story. I was like, I'm gonna bring on my roommate from college, right? And they was like who? I was like, my roommate from college is one of the super producers. Man, you know what they did, man? They blowing me off, bro. They like, man, be gone, man. They just, oh man, get out of here. You know?
Yeah, you know, tell them you used to drink up all my Kool-Aid, man. I got to put my name on my arm.
Look, man. Look, man, look. Look, man, look. Since you brought that up, right? Look, I wasn't gonna bring that up, but since you brought it up, that's a good place. Look, man, look. I wasn't gonna bring that up, but look, man. Look, I'm not gonna even. But look, man, look. The thing I'm gonna say is this. I remember.
You drinking all the Kool-Aid.
Bro, we was roommates in college, man. I mean, I don't think I drank all this Kool-Aid. He was eating my food too. It was me. Look, it was me and Ron, and then we had another roommate. I felt bad, Bill. We had another roommate named Rich from Buffalo, right?
Ain't had nothing.
No, Rich.
Was it Rich?
Yeah, Rich. Remember, he was an engineer.
Yeah.
Right?
Buffalo, yeah.
So Rich was from Buffalo, and Rich, I remember the first time, and I'm from Florida, so I mean, he was from Buffalo, so Rich was the first person I seen cook buffalo wings.
Huh?
Like we know, like people have wings, buffalo wings. He was the first person I seen do that. So when I seen him take the chicken and put it in there with no flour, I was like, I ran in the kitchen. I ran there and grabbed his hand. And I said, hey, yo, man, what you doing? He was looking at me like, yo, man, cooking some buffalo wings. I said, man, where the flour? You ain't put no flour on this chicken. I said, man, you don't know what you're doing? Man, that thing was hilarious,
I
bro.
never put two and two together till down.
Yeah, man, that.
Buffalo wings.
Yeah, bro, that's when.
I guess that was that.
Bro, years later, I thought about it. I was like, oh snap, and he was from Buffalo. But yeah, man, and then I remember when I met you, and the funny thing was this: you know how you meet roommates, you just be like, oh man, and he was like, oh, I'm from New York, I'm this. Yeah, on the sheepskin, and I was like, oh, that's what's up. I was like, this little joker. Look, man. I said, yeah, this dude is. And you was telling me all about the music, and I was like, yeah, all right, man. I was like, all right, really? Like, yeah. And then on the way in today, I was tripping, because I remember when you was in that when we had the talent show. Remember you was in the talent show?
Uh-oh. Yeah. Break dancing.
Yeah, he ripped it.
Yo, but you know what though? But
he ripped. Look, he went from zero.
We talking 1986, right?
Yeah, we talking 86.
Y'all put me up on 2 Live Crew.
Hey, I had
what the hell is
Bro, man, listen.
We used to rock him and flowing with the rhymes and all this stuff, and all of a sudden we had these dudes talking about some pussy, all kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Hey man, this is look, man, look, this is good. Bruh, But the thing about it was, when you look back on it now, you like, and my producer looking at me, man. It's a spiritual show, man. So you can't be cursing on here, Ron. But anyway, no, you good, man. You good. Cause you ain't know, man. My producer, he whatever. Anyway, back to the story.
Just leave it out.
Yeah, we'll edit it out later, man. Don't even worry about it. But the trip thing about what you're saying is that was where we were in music at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because we was thinking the same thing, like, man, they think everything good got to be out of New York. And then that's when Luke was just starting to pop. And then we was like, nah, this is what we about. So in 86, this is the thing I remember about 86 too. In 86, when we was at Howard, everybody was just like repping wherever they was from. Like you had the New York crew, the New York, New Jersey crew, you had the Chicago crew, you had the LA crew, you had the Texans, you had all them dudes from down south, and we was just like, all these kids, man, just wilding out. Everybody was just like wilding out, having a good, like, man, what is that? Oh man, that's this. I was like, what?
It was wild, man, but you know, the football team kind of gave us a hard way to go. You know?
Man, come on, bro.
They was from Florida, man.
Look, man, no, man, see, I wasn't going to bring that up, man. I remember that story. I wasn't going to bring that up. You went from 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, the thing about New York is we felt we was like, nobody was better than us.
Right.
Because we was New York. We felt we had the slang. We felt we had
the swag, the everything.
The latest gear.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So,
had to got there y'all had all of the colored Bally's. I was like, damn, dude got on some red. I was like, damn, he got on some red Bally's. I was like, oh shoot. Had the Kango. I was like, oh okay. But man, that was just like man, that was crazy, bro. But let me form it. This is Mr. Ron Lawrence. And he's one of the, I'm going to let him tell his story. But I see a lot of people on tonight, man. I'm glad y'all tuning in because this brother right here, you talking about one of the few people in music history has done what this brother has done. So I'm gonna just shoot you with a couple of questions and you answer it and you talk about it. But kind of take them. And the crazy part was like, I was sitting there witnessing it and I was like, but years later when I was following you and I said, God dang, dog, you went from, I was joking about it, but I used to be telling them, yo, that's my roommate. They was like, man, get back to work. But man, just give us a glimpse into your world, man. Like coming out of 86 and when Bad Boy really turned into Bad Boy and you turned into one of the super producers, man. You and Derek and the whole crew, man. Just give us a little glimpse of that, man, for the audience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it started at Howard. So, you know, coming from New York and coming to Washington, D.C., that was a whole new world for me. So it's like I almost had to start over because when I left my neighborhood, you know, I left people that were already doing things in the music industry. So it's like I had to find myself all over again, coming to a city where nobody knew who I was. So I had to meet new friends, and you know, along the way, I met cats like you and you know, D-Dot. So we formed that the rap group, Two Kings of the Cypher.
Right.
And along, you know, with Diddy being there and a whole lot of other people that was coming up with us, we were just all friends. So that was the start of everything right there. So you kind of saw me trying to find my way, you know, picking up the mic and rhyming in the talent show and finding my way to being a record producer. And that came out of necessity because when I was able to get a record deal towards the end of the school years, we needed a producer. So that's when I started learning how to make beats. Okay. Yeah, so that whole thing kind of came together. We got a record deal, and after a while that fell apart because the record label had lost their deal, so we got dropped. And then I went out to LA, and I was hanging out with Shy, the R&B group that made that record, If I Ever Fall in Love.
Yeah.
And they went to Howard as well.
Yeah, I remember them brothers.
Yeah, and my sister was an AKA, so she was cool with them. And she introduced me to Darnell, the lead singer. So I went out to LA and I started rocking with them about a good year.
Okay.
And that didn't turn out too well, so then I left and I moved to New York. And around that time, Bad Boy started popping off. So things kind of fell into place. And I came back to New York and I started grinding. It was like starting all over again for the third time. Basically staying afloat, you know.
Right.
And things kind of fell in order at that point, man. And, you know, I got with Puff and got with the Hitman and just started making hit records.
Man, I love how you just like casually just say, well, you know, I just got with Puff and we just started grinding and we just started making hit records. So that takes me into my next bit because that was something I was thinking about. Because when we talk about hit records, right, and we talk about that era, can you share with us, like when you say hit records, can you name some of those hit records that you either produced or you helped to produce during that period? Just so the audience will know, like, what we talking about. When I say super producer, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize. Love Like This with Faith Evans. I Love Cool J Phenomenon. The Lox, Simply Power and Respect. Diddy, Been Around the World. Jay-Z, Where I'm From. What else?
So what's he got?
Bruh.
Yeah, there's so many others, you know. Yeah, so I mean, that list right there can kind of give you.
Man, that list right there, man. Hey, we like the preacher now. We saying like, hey, if we go home now, we blessed. If we go home, wait a minute, man. Just them was like, bruh, hypnotized? Bruh, do you?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. So you were just getting goddamn, oh, man. So you were just getting, what? He was just getting guap, right?
That was the one right there. That's straight out the gate right there. That was like that was the beginning of everything.
God damn.
That was the end of the day. That was like the real introduction to the.
So, bro, you got it, man. You got to take us into that world. So, before Hypnotize, you grind and you put your thing in. When Hypnotize hit, when it hit, and your life changed, man. Tell me, I mean, what happens? Because everybody always aspires, like, man, when I hit it big, man, when this pop off for me, just kind of describe that period. Like, what happened for you during that period?
Well, you know, what happened was, you know, the first phone call I got was from Alicia Keys. I was living with my brother in Mount Vernon, and I got a call from this production company, and it was a 16-year-old little girl, and they were trying to figure out what they should do with her. And they called me, and she came by the crib. That was the first person that I worked with. They were the very first people that called. You know, but it was a domino effect. Once that one record came out, the phone started ringing. You know, because for like a good year, man, we were just grinding in-house. And once that happened, man, it was almost like the hit record just started coming back and forth after that. It was just one after the other.
Man.
Yeah, my life things just changed like within an instant, man. It was ridiculous the way it happened. So that was a great time.
Bruh, and you ain't even call me. But people asking me who's on, man. I ain't gonna hold that against you, man. My roommate, you probably still mad about the Kool-Aid. You done did Hypnotize, man. You supposed to reach out to your little brother in Florida, man.
But the crazy thing about it is, you know, I laughed at that, like, I was young, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you're young, I don't know. But I look back at that and I laugh for even doing that. Like, I even feel kind of stupid for it, but, you know, my excuse is I was young.
Man, listen, bro.
And I know you probably held that against me too, right?
No, never that, man. But, I mean, because one thing about that is this, man, and I was sharing this with somebody earlier last week, that it's funny how you can, when you run across people in life, right, how you treat them and how they remember you, that holds a certain place, even when you meet them or hear about them or talk about them, you know, years and years and years later. Like somebody who was foul when you was young, somebody who was foul, like when you go back to, you know, to New York and you run across, I said, oh, that's old Benny. You like, grimy joke, whatever, right? But somebody who's like, man, good dude, man. And the thing about you when you came, bro, and I can say this because it's something about when you live in close proximity with a person, especially being a roommate, you get to really see who they are. Like, because sometimes, and we all used to do that when we was younger. Again, you got to think, we 18, 19, 20-year-olds. We in college, everybody trying to jockey for position, everybody trying to, be ego, da-da-da, whatever, right? But once we came back inside the door, then, everybody kind of, reverted back into who they really are. It's like, man, and my thing about you, man, you was always just a, stand up real cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Just real down to earth. Because I remember coming in, and one time, like I was coming in Sutton, and it was this huge stretch limo out front, right? So at first, that's the first thing. It's like, dang, who got this big goddamn limousine? And I thought it was them pimps. Cause you remember right next door to us where they used to be, all them prostitutes and stuff used to be. I was like, oh, these dudes must be out here pimping, somebody big, whatever. But I remember seeing this big stretch limousine. And when I came upstairs, it was like, I think it was like Dana Dane. It was Dana Dane and somebody was in our room. And when I came in, I looked, and you was just like real low key, like. And the crazy part was, back then when we had the cassettes, he had a song that was banging at that time. So when I came in, I just came in the room. I was like, yo, man, what's happening? He was like, yo, man, this my boy, man. I was like, Dana Dane. I went in the room and closed it. I was like, damn. I was like, that was Dana. I was like, Dana Dane out there in the. I was like, oh, heck no, bro. Mm-hmm. And then when you start telling me about Herbie and Salt and Pepper and all, I was like, whoa. I was like,
Herbie and Rakim.
Yeah.
That might have been Herbie and Rakim in that level.
Man, no, you remember, but check this out. I remember also when Just Ice came up to Meridian. And remember they had the altercation up there and somebody got threw out the window or something like that? And they was talking about, you remember that? And that's when Just Ice had that goddamn Mantronics. That Mantronics was back. I was like, God dang. But a lot of people asking on it. This gentleman that's on with us tonight, man, is this is Ron Lawrence. He's one of the original super producers when Puffy really came into prominence. Like we know him, like a lot of it, I got my Howard University alumni shirt on, but a lot of it, the genesis, and a lot of people don't realize that, is like the genesis of when all of that started was when he came to Howard, we was doing them goddamn parties, and everybody started getting excited because he was having, them flyers would be everywhere, and everybody, and again, that's going back to like, man, these goddamn New Yorkers, like they trying to take over. But I remember 86, the thing I remember about 86 though, is 86 was the year of the New Yorker. If people don't remember historically, because I remember in 86, the Giants won the Super Bowl, right? And the Mets won the World Series, right? So New Yorkers was just, y'all was just on some other stuff then, man. It was just like, I was like, oh, damn, y'all got it, okay.
Yeah.
86, y'all got it.
And we had the Rock.
Yeah, I remember, bruh. I was right there. I was like, but man, when I heard that, when you started, getting into that space, and then I didn't realize it at first, but after a while, when I heard, they was like, yo, Ron, because I don't know if I ran into somebody, and they was asking me, did I know Derek D-Dot? And I was like, I said, I don't know D-Dot. I said, I know Derek Angeliti, though. They was like, no, that's D-Dot, D-Dot. And I said, bro, he was in my class, man. We was down in the valley together. I said, that's the homie. He was like looking at me strange. I'm like, no, that's the homie. But I said, they doing their thing now. But going into that space, man, it's always, to me, man, I was always happy for you, bro. I was like, yo, even when I would run into Bernie, after that, man, I was like, and the stuff that I would read about you, I was like, damn, he working with who? Like, oh, he doing stuff with Aretha Franklin. I was like, damn, Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
God damn.
Now my little sister doing big things.
Man, your sister is a beast out here, bruh. She's a monster, man.
I can't keep up with her. I can't. She don't even hear my calls now.
Bruh, she's hey, man. Man, she's boy. She's a monster. And the crazy part is, she ain't letting up off the pedal, man. She letting people know. I'm like, God dang. I'm like, she's a monster. She's a monster, man. And that's Bernie Lawrence Watkins. his sister is
Yeah.
a big entertainment. Big entertainment lawyer out here in Atlanta, man. And she's representing some of the and the crazy part is she's representing some of the biggest producers in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? Because some of that stuff that she's been posting, like, oh, he did this with Cardi B and he did this with. I was like, God dang. So they got them. They doing their thing, man.
Good deal.
They doing their thing.
They are doing their thing right now.
Man, so tell us about the book,
The
man.
whole Atlanta book. Yeah, my bad. What you trying to say?
Tell us about the book, man. You just released the book, so tell us the name of the book and tell us what the book is about, man, and where people can pick it up at.
Yeah, well, the book is called Where I'm From, Growing Up in Hip Hop, and it's about, it's my memoir, it's my life story, and it talks about me staying afloat, like, the stuff that I've been through from day one, and when I was diagnosed with cancer, and overcoming it, but that's in between the story. It just goes in to my life at the beginning, through high school, all the way up to college, and then Bad Boy, and moving to Florida, raising a family and everything, and then having that setback. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's basically, like I said, my whole life. In the book. It's called Where I'm From. And you can get it, go to my website. My website is thisisron.com. That's THISRON.com. Thisisron.com. And you'll see it on the first page.
Okay. So let me ask you a different question. We're gonna change gears. So with all of that success, all of the, because the first thing that people think about, which is natural, is like when you have a certain level of success, comes with money, right, and access and power,
right,
to things.
Right.
And what role? Because this show's about, like me and you was talking, a few weeks ago. This show's about me bringing different facets of personal finance to the forefront. So what role did? I mean, you looking back now, as an older, mature man, and looking back at that time between then and now, what role or what lessons did you learn about personal finance?
Well, what I learned is that, especially in the music industry, when you get money, you have to learn how to hold on to it, because in the industry, where I'm from, the money comes and you get your quick 15 minutes of fame. A lot of times when you get that money, you think it's going to last forever. So you tend to spend it like that. And you want to live big. So you want to get the fancy car, you want to get the big house and all these other things. And when the money slows down, the finances can't support your lifestyle anymore. A lot of times we don't think ahead. We don't think 10, 20, 30 years down the line, that when we get this money, we have to take that money and let it spread out for a long time or invest it, So, and I see a lot of people fall into that same trap. They live for today and don't think about tomorrow.
Wow.
And you almost have to, even, you may have 10 million in the bank, but you almost have to live like you're a regular person. If you got $10 million, you got to think about how that $10 million is going to last you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So if you live that $10 million for today, and you live in $1 million lifestyle, in 10 years that money is gone, because you live in you're taking $1 million a year to support your Bugatti, whatever it is, your Rolls Royce, your $1 million home, your lavish wardrobe.
Right, the penthouse apartment.
Here and there. Yeah, so, and then all that money's just going out. That $1 million is gone. So every year you got to maintain that lifestyle. And 10 years, that money's gone. If the money's not continuously flowing, then it's gone. So, I just say, man, when you get money, the minute you get it, you have to think about the rest of your life, because you never know when it's going to end. And it will end. It's not always going to flow like that forever.
Wow.
For the most part. I mean, you got people that can do it like that, but not everybody's that lucky.
Right. And that's something that, I mean, even though, man, I'm like, damn, 10 M's. I think I could do it. I'm 52. I think I could get out of here at 10. If I get them 10 M's now, I think I can get out of here. But I think the good thing about that, because I had a young lady, another young lady on the show that's in the entertainment. She's one of the lead dancers with Beyonce, and she's a young lady now. And that was one of the things that we talked about. And I think for me, that's something that's universal. So even if you're not in entertainment, but if you get money now, right? You may be getting money from your job, you may be getting money from your business. I think we still have to look at it the same way. We still got to treat it like it ain't always gonna be coming in, right? Because you're gonna get older and you're gonna get to a point where you're like, man, I can't be going to work forever. You know, I gotta, like you said, I got to invest it, or I got to make some moves so that money can grow and it'll be there for me, as opposed to just, because you said $1 million lifestyle. Some people, they try to live $100,000 lifestyle, right?
Yeah. I think it's important that we try to we learn how to create residual income. Let that money create money for you.
Wow.
You know, where you can kind of just sit back and let that money pay you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, so you can just kick back, and it's like, for instance, that's one reason why I have a book. You know, that book right there I can always sell that book. I can always make money from it.
Oh, no doubt.
So it's all about having more than one income.
Man.
In various places. Yeah, you just gotta, I have an apparel company, the same thing.
Right. So what kind of projects you working on now? Because I know when we got reconnected, man, I was looking at some stuff and doing some research on you. So it looked like you still doing a lot of things in media. So kind of bring us up to speed.
Yeah.
Like what are you into now?
Yeah. I'm working on a beach site right now, and it's called Beach Motel, and that's like it's a site where people who create production, but they want to get a place. Like the song Old Town Road by Lil Nas X.
Uh-huh.
Now, he found that beat online somewhere for $30. And that record blew up.
That record just did 10 million. I think it just went diamond a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So now the producer's happy. The producer may have gotten $30 from it, but wherever they worked out in the paperwork, I'm pretty sure he got rich along with Lil Nas X.
Right.
So yeah, the site that I'm creating is something similar to that, where you can actually upload tracks where people can listen to them and they can buy them for a small fee. And then if that track blows up, then you can ride along with the artist as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so there'll be some type of agreement involved with that. Yeah. So if you're looking for tracks, you can come to that site.
Wow.
I'm doing that, and I also have I'm working on an OTT site as well. It's an over-the-top movie streaming website.
Okay.
It's a little bit like Netflix.
Okay.
It's more indie driven, and I'm trying to do a lot of in-house stuff as well. And I'm also looking for up and coming movie creators, directors who are looking for a place to house their film and stuff. I know it's tough out there when you're trying to knock in Hollywood and people are trying to get their films placed. A lot of times they go through the film festivals, and after the film festival, they really don't know what to do with their film at that point. After that,
right.
A lot of times they try to go the Hollywood route, but it's tough. The market is flooded.
Right, because that's the
So
traditional
I
route.
want to kind of create an avenue for that, for people who are looking for a home. Yeah.
Wow. See, you want to do some TV shows too, man, because I got a TV show I need you to do too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Movies, documentaries, all that stuff.
See? See? It's all about who you know. See, I keep telling you, man. One day you're going to listen to me, man.
One day.
One day you're going to listen to me. Today. Not one day.
This day.
This is the day. This is the day. But no, man, that's some powerful stuff, because I was like, it's probably about 2 months ago, I was reading about Eric Sermon doing, he was talking about, I think he was on with Sway, and he was just talking about the amount of money that's in streaming. So I think he had he created a site or was in the process of creating a site where you could download beats, you know, for a certain amount of money, or it was different levels or whatever. But he was kind of breaking that whole, you know, that whole business model down as far as where streaming is going now, and by people like yourself and him and people who've already done it, you know, in hip hop before. Now they can go in and leverage not only their network, but also leverage understanding the music industry and just how it has evolved into this digital age that we're in.
Yeah,
So I mean,
he's right.
yeah, that's big, man. That's
Yeah,
big.
because that's where everything is going now.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Cause that's why I'm like, look, that's why I'm on here doing this. Cause I'm like, hey, we done did 112 episodes.
Exactly.
We done shot a TV pilot, you know. But you know, my thing is,
doing the right
I feel like
thing.
I'm up and
You're
coming.
on track.
Yeah, I have some content. I'm a content creator, so we up and coming. So you know, that's my whole thing. Is like, why stand around when you know, the world is changing. Like, there's no more cassette tapes. There's no more CDs. I remember CDs were so big. Man, I thought I was doing something. I had a CD player. I had a portable CD player,
God almighty.
right?
Yeah.
And the story behind the
Oh,
portable
yeah,
CD
yeah.
player, that's how I established my first line of credit. Right there in Silver Spring. Went there and brought a portable CD player and messed my credit up. Cause I ain't paid the $15, man. I was supposed to pay $15 a month, and I was in college. I was like, man, them people. I was like, what they gonna do? Come take the money from me? I ain't know nothing about credit, man. I was like, I got on there and they was like, bro, you ain't paid nothing on this thing. I was like, oh, I ain't know I was. You know what I'm saying? I thought y'all would let me. I thought y'all gave it to me. I thought y'all would let me have it, right? Cause then nobody tell me about that, so I ain't know. Cause I had never experienced nothing like that, especially at that age. I'm like, cause back then, like if you walk out the store with something, it was yours. I'm like, I ain't know nothing about no. I was like, credit. I'm like, oh man. So dude showed that.
It was like, yo, it's free, and I ain't got.
Man, I remember. I still got I brought like 4 CDs with that portable one, and that was I had got Biz Markie.
Mm-hmm.
It was one. I got the dudes from Seattle, Big Old Butt. I got them. Digital. What is it? Digital Underground.
Digital Underground.
You know, underground.
Yeah, had Digital Underground. That was one. I had Eric B. and Rakim. I got that CD. And it was one more. But I paid them. I didn't pay for them. They gave it to me on credit, and that's how that's when my personal finance career started at Howard too. But it's taking some twists and turns. It's taking some twists and turns since then. But I'm glad to be where I am. I mean, look, I'm gonna use your word. I've been staying afloat. Sometimes.
Everybody had a taste of destroying their credit, man.
Hey,
I
boy.
have a good story to tell about how my credit got destroyed, but it's in the book.
Okay.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
But man, so we go to the site. You said we can go to the site. thisisron.com and get the book.
That's right, yeah.
But man, I told you, bro, you got to sign one for me, man, and send it because I keep signed books, and then on my show I do a book of the week. So you got to send me. I mean, I'll pay for it. I ain't gonna not pay you for it like I used to. I used to drink the Kool-Aid.
For free.
Look, I cash out you, man. I ain't gonna take it.
The crazy thing about it was my mom used to give me maybe $30 every 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, so that $30
That's
that's
money
the
back then.
one way. You know, $30 a week, and then you say, I never forget, that the envelope got lost in the mail, man.
And you was sweating.
I was sweating big time.
Well, people here talk about that now, man. They like, what? Like, man, our kids ain't know
Yeah,
nothing
$30
about it.
that you had $30, that's about that Kool-Aid, man.
Bro, you was down there at that little mail room down there below the A building like every day. I know they were probably like, sir, please, man. Just, bro, it ain't here, man. It ain't here, bro. It ain't here, man. You like, man, where them 15? You like, man, where them $30 at? I'm a down here. But man.
Let me tell you, man. We was looking forward to that every 2 weeks.
Come on, man. Don't even, man.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing that people, I think
It
sometimes
may have been
people,
even, it may have been even $15, man. You know?
bruh, but you talking about
It may have been
86.
15, it may have been like 15 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think 15 went, 15 went to me and 15 went to my sister. I
See?
think it was like 15 every 2 weeks or something like that. It was really small.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
but that was the lifeline. Cause I remember
Yeah.
we used to
yeah.
get them, man, and the crazy part about, you know, when you go to college in a city, I always thought that that's just different than like if you go to college like in a college town. Cause like when we was, I mean, it was like, man, if you ain't have no money, you was missing out when you was in DC. Like, man, you couldn't go down to Holgate. Like, bro, you can't go to Happy. I'm like, man, I ain't got no money. Like, you ain't got no money.
I wasn't doing
What you
that.
mean?
I was like, man, I was working, but I was doing a bunch of stuff. I can't talk about that on there. I was staying afloat. I was staying afloat, bro. That's it, man. You know, I was always working. I always had a job, so you know when they ain't fired me. So that's another story.
Fired you.
Yeah, man. A quick story. I was in DC and I was working in the pharmacy. I was working at Howard University Hospital in the pharmacy. And when I got the job, they told me like, you're gonna have to work during the holidays. I said, oh yeah, no problem. And then when the holidays came up, man, when college kids are getting out, man, everybody gets so hyped, like, man, you going on? Man, I'm leaving Thursday, man, I'm flying out. And I was like, shoot, me too. I'm out of here. So I went to work, and my supervisor told me, he said, you know you got to work like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I was like, but it's Christmas break. And he looked at me, he was like, this is a job. And I was like, oh, okay. Man, while I went and booked me a ticket, I went to Florida. I went to Florida for Christmas. I must have been gone about a week and a half. I came back to work and clocked in like I did.
Oh, man.
And the dude came around there like, hey, I need to talk to you. I was like, man, I looked, know what I told him?
What's that?
I said, man, why you gonna treat me like that? I said, man, why you gonna treat me like that, man? I said, man, y'all should be treating these young African Americans like this, man. This don't make no sense. But yeah, that was my first getting fired, man.
Which I was.
That was 80, 87, man. Cause I was living,
What job?
no, I was working at the hospital. I was working at Howard Hospital in the pharmacy.
On Howard Hospital.
Yeah, I was working right there on Georgia
That's crazy.
Avenue, man. And dude fired me and I wrote a letter to the president of the hospital.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Bro, I wrote a letter to the president of Howard University Hospital, man. Yeah, I told him he was discriminating against me, bro. Yeah. But that was a life lesson. He fired me again, the president.
Wow.
But man, listen, Ron. Hey, boy. It goes without saying, bro, that I'm super happy, man, that you took the time, man, to just come and bless my show and bless us with some of that information, man, because it's like I said, man, in the beginning, it's very few people, and I know you've always been humble, man, but just trust me, it's very few people in life, man, that have been able to do, be, have, see, and experience the things that you experience, man. So you're very, very, I consider you to be a very, very wealthy friend, and I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about experience, culture, you know, exposure, just to be able to run in them circles, man. People just, I mean, that's something that's very few people get the opportunity to do and see that lightning in a bottle. And you was like right there at ground zero when all of that was happening, man. So some people I reach out to, man, they still too big, or they like, man, what's that? Or what channel you on? You on AM and FM? But when I told you, man, I got this radio show, you was like, oh, yo, man, I'll come on there, man. I'll come on.
So who you reach out to?
Man, I'm not gonna name no names. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Just know that some people, even if they was big and it was in the '80s, they still think they big. They still. So I ain't want to say you're not big no more, man. You need to come on here every week so we can get you blown back up. We can blow you back up, or you can blow up with me. You know what I'm saying? But just know that, I mean, just real talk, man. Some people just in their mind, man, they don't really feel that we need to share it like we share them. Or they feel like they had that first time, like when they was getting started. When somebody had to give you a hand up, like, bro, I'm Quincy
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When Quincy Jones was Quincy Jones, and before Puffy was Puffy, it was still like, yo, man, that's such and such. You know what I'm saying? But then when you get to that pinnacle, you forget that before you went to the league, before you became a celebrity, this, that, and other, you was trying to get on too. So that's all I try to do, man. And I'm here to bless the people, man. I really feel like, you know, what I'm doing, I love what I'm doing. I know it's I see where it's going, and I'm going to ride it out, man. And like I said, bro, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, man, and just blessing us with some wisdom that all of, you know, my audience can take away, man, and we can, you know, live healthier financial lives, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
So the next time you're in Atlanta, bro, you want to come through, man. Huh?
I appreciate you having me.
Oh, no doubt, man. That's the least I could do, man. My roommate, and I'm drinking your Kool-Aid. That's the least.
Yeah, you
That's the least I could do is bring you on the show. You know what I'm saying? That's the least I can do, man. But yeah, brother,
Okay.
man, you have a great evening, brother. And I'll reach out to you, man, and make sure you send me that book because I definitely want that for real, man. On the strength.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
All right. Okay, brother. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Somebody called
Yeah.
me, hung up quickly, though.
Man, we're at the top of the hour, bro. So I mean, look, man, they don't get no bigger than that. You heard when he started dropping them songs, Joker was like, damn, he was like, hypnotized, like the locks. I was like, ooh, hypnotized. Well, you know how big that was?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know how big? No, I mean, when that first hit.
Well, this is Wally Amos, and you are listening to the Daily Bread Radio. It's the best in radio.
Why you sound like that at the end, man? Why you sound like that at the end, man?
Yo, I don't know, man. Wally was doing good till he got to the end, and he got turned. He's like, man, he turned sexy. That was like, you listening to the Daily Bread Radio Show. It's the best. I was like, hey, man.
Cut.
You doing good, man.
Cut, bro.
Like, bro, why you got to put the little sexy part on? We ain't asked you to be like, it's the best in radio.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, oh, hey, nah, man. Hey, bro. But that was crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? And, but we had a bunch of stories, man. Bunch of stories when I met that brother. But, good dude. And he's solid, man. And even when he described what he described, he was being humble, man. I'm talking about this dude that did stuff for Aretha Franklin, Faith Evans, Gardner Mays. And to be during that time, you know, Eric being right. He said Jay-Z, bro.
Jay-Z, yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
He got a story I know it's in his book about how Jay-Z was getting on him about this cassette tape, and he was, you know, doing something else with it, and he was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, we doing it like this.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, man, it's and that was something I was thinking about that I want to leave y'all with, man. And I want you to just marinate on this, right? What age were you when you stopped dreaming? What age were you when you stopped dreaming? Because I run into a lot of people and I'm thinking, it ain't over, bro. It ain't. I mean, the dream is still alive, right? The dream, because your dream might be like Abraham, right? You might have to wait. Hopefully you don't have to wait till you're 130. But you know what I'm saying? It ain't over. Some people, like this older guy told me, he said, the way you look at life is like this. Some people gonna get it in the middle. No, some people gonna get it in the beginning when they're young, right? Some people gonna get it in the middle when they, you know, in their middle age, right? He said some people gonna get it in the end. But just know, he said, if you keep the belief, keep God first, everybody gonna get it. So I'm like, man, I'm 112 in. And like I said, this show is sponsored by JL Capital, brand new mortgage company. So if you know somebody that is buying a house, thinking about buying a house, trying to get ready to buy a house, want to do a refi, trying to get ready for a refi, reach out to me. Reach out to me, man, because we're doing some great stuff. We're helping a lot of people. And like I was saying at the beginning of the show, we still are very far behind in home ownership. And home ownership is really how you get into, I'm not even going to say the wealth game. That's how you get into financial well-being. Just just starting there. House, and then after house, business, or vice versa. But we gotta change how we doing it because data don't lie. And the data is still saying that when you look at all of the different races, we still running from behind. So let's get some education. Let's get educated, motivated, and elevated. I'm gonna be doing some home buying seminars. I ain't even tell you about that.
No, you ain't tell me about
Man, I did a home buying seminar last week, man. I dropped the mic on them jokers. They was like, what? I'm like, hey. But that was just God, man. He blessed me, man, with the right words to say and open people's hearts. And I was having fun with it, but I was telling people the truth, man. It's like when you go into home ownership, right? When you get into that space, or when you get into being a business owner, you got to change this. You got to change your mindset. That's all. That's the only difference. The only difference between people who own and people who don't own is this. The people that own, they think about being an owner, right? And I'm going to leave y'all with this. This is a true story. I went to a comedy show one time. This was years ago. A friend of mine was trying to get a little club going. So we would go on Friday night. It might be 8 people in the club. And we felt bad. It's like, oh, man, dang. So I would go every Friday just to, you know, like, bro, me and my wife. I was like, bro, you got 2. You know, he would have a buffet. He had wings and everything. It'd be like 6 people in there. So he had this comedy show. So he owned the club with a partner. So he brought in some comedians, and one of the comedians brought his sister, and they would have an open bar because it went with a handful of people. So he would have an open bar. You drink all you want to drink. So people come and have a good time. We dance. Like I said, man, 10 people, 8 to 10 people. But we would always have a good time. So this time he had this comedy show. And the comedians was getting up doing they sets, and people would clap, whatever. So the dude who was the owner with my partner, he got up there to do a skit. would do a set like a comedian. Yeah. So everybody was just like looking. It wasn't that funny. Everybody was looking. And this dude who was a famous comedian, you know the dude, Sade? Yeah. His sister. So he was there, but his sister, man, she been drinking. She gets up there and do her set. Man, she said, hey. And people was looking around, no, you. She said, you the owner?
Oh, Lord.
You the owner? And then he was, yeah, I'm the owner. She was like, stick to owning. She said, you the owner? Well, stick to owning. I was like, oh my goodness. She was like, 'cause you don't need to be telling nothing. She went on and on, man. And I was like, so I'm saying that to you, man. The only difference between having and not having and changing your life is right here. If you change this, if you said tonight, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water for the next 30 days. It's that simple. I'm going to drink 6 cups of water, whatever you're going to do, right? And your life will change, especially if you start doing that for long periods of time. And y'all know I could do this all night, but we're out of time. I appreciate everybody. We had a tremendous amount of people on. All of our, on our show tonight, special guest, Ron Lawrence. Make sure y'all go out to his website. Go to thisisron.com. Thisisron.com. And you can pick up a copy of his books. Pick up a copy of his book, see all the different stuff that he's working on. Good brother. Like I said, super producer. He was one of the original producers with Puffy. Produced a lot of the biggest hits that we danced to in the late 80s, early 90s, up through the 2000s. So go out there and support, that brother in black business. Y'all stay tuned. Next week, we're going to do it again right here. We got a brother coming on next week. And where is he from? Duval. We bringing on one of the homies next week. We bringing on one of the homies next week. And he's going to be talking about the entrepreneurial mindset. Woo! Well, let's just get all in you.
Otherwise, he's going to keep going. It's going to be 12:30.
But I'm going to make you... Did you turn it on, man?
Yeah, I turned it on. Your battery died.